All right, guys, to start our cake, first you will need to make sure that your unsalted butter is at room temperature. See? As long as your finger is able to make an indent in your butter, you know it's at room temperature. And what I'm going to do is use what we call the creaming method, where I'm going to add the sugar and our butter, and I'm going to cream it in our KitchenAid. So you just add your butter in like this. Make sure you get all of your butter in. And if you notice, I cut them in small pieces. It's because I wanted to make sure it cooled down. It got to the room temperature quick. And now I'm going to add in my sugar. This is about 9 ounces of sugar. And I'm going to first start it off on slow. If you notice, I'm using a paddle attachment. And then I'm going to bring it to the number 6 or number 4. For about 5 minutes, and once it creams, I'll come back and show you what it should look like. All right, guys, as we're waiting on this to cream, just want to show you some of the items that I will use, my ingredients. I have here, I've already sifted my cake flour. I'm using a unbleached and unenriched cake flour. It's a non-GMO. So I've already sifted along with our fresh nutmeg. I have some salt in here and some baking powder as well. And on reserve, this is about, I would say, 8 ounces of flour. And on reserve, I have 2 ounces just in case I need a little bit more flour. We have our rum here. I have some evaporated milk. And I have my egg white and my eggs, they're separated. And I do have those at room temperature as well. I have my vanilla extract along with some almond extract here in this bowl. And then I do have my lime zest here. So we're going to wait. The creaming is coming along pretty good. So what I'm going to do is stop the machine, because you want to come in every so often and scrape. Do you see this? It has like the I'm sorry, guys, I don't have nobody holding it right now. It has the consistency of frosting. Okay, it's kind of difficult trying to do this with one hand, and I'm gonna let it go for a couple more minutes, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, do you see this? See the consistency? Like I said before, it's almost like your frosting. Okay, so I'm gonna scrape the bowl just to make sure I get all of this goodness down, because what I'm gonna add now to this is my lime zest. And the lime zest, I have about 1.5 teaspoons. And I'm gonna add my rum. This is about roughly 2 tablespoons. And then I have my almond and my vanilla extract. And I have about 1 teaspoon of each in here. And these measurements are roughly. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back up, and we're not going to beat this too much. And I'm just going to let it incorporate, and then I'll come back and show you what I do. Okay, it's incorporated. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 egg at a time. Let's get the rest of that in there. And I'm going to slightly let it incorporate. And once I see no more yellow, Then I'll go ahead and add in my second egg. Okay, I'm adding in my second egg. There you go. Once I see no more yellow, then I'll go ahead and add the third egg. Use my fingers. My fingers are clean. And we're going to do the same thing with this. Okay, everything is nice and incorporated. Let me just wash my hands right quick. All right, guys, I just want to show you this. Before I even add my flour, I'm going to just quickly, our egg whites, I'm going to get them. I'm using my hand mixer. All right, guys, this is where you want it, okay? Let me just take that off now. Here we go right here. Looks a little bit like whipped cream. I'm gonna set this aside, and now I'm gonna alternate between my flour and my evaporated milk. So I'm gonna do it in 3 batch. I'm gonna do a little bit of flour, a little bit of milk, and then we're gonna beat this until, remember, you don't want to over mix your batter. Why? Because remember, the more you beat it, the more you develop the gluten, and that's going to cause your cake to be hard. Okay, so as soon as it looks as if it's starting to incorporate a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest, another half. Okay, this is good. And then I'm going to add some more milk, and then we're going to let it mix a little bit. And remember, I have that 2 ounce of flour on reserve just in case I need it. Okay, add the rest of that. And I'm going to add the rest of my milk. And the reason you want to sift your cake flour is because cake flour has a tendency of lumping up, but you don't want that to happen. Okay, and as you notice, my batter is a little bit wet. So now I will add my extra 2 ounces of flour. I'm gonna let this whip for maybe about a couple of seconds, and that's the perfect consistency. Beautiful. I don't want to over whip, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down like this. All right, guys, I'm just basically taking my dough off, my batter rather, off of the paddle, and what I'm going to do is go under, make sure there's no raw, okay, we're good, no raw flour. So now I'll take my egg whites like this, and I'm going to gently fold them in, okay? And the reason you whip it like that, you're creating what you call air pockets. So this way your cake will be nice and fluffy. So this is why you don't want to over mix this, because you don't want these air pockets to pop. So your cake could be nice, tender, and fluffy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and incorporate this, and then I'll come right back. All right, guys, now it is incorporated. Make sure your oven is already preheated at 325. And I don't want to make a 2-layer, well, I'm gonna make a 2-layer cake, but from a smaller pan. So I'm just gonna do 1 cake pan, and then the rest of them I'll just put them in these cupcake paper here. So I'm gonna add in half of my batter in like this. Okay. And what we're gonna do is kind of even it out. And we're not gonna hit this. You know how you pick it up and slam it? We're not doing that, because remember, we have the air pockets in here, and we want to keep it like that. We don't want to bust the airs. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to use an ice cream scoop, and I'm going to put about 2 scoops in each, so we can create our cupcakes. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in the oven. Then I'll let it bake. The cupcakes should bake in about maybe 18 to 20 minutes. And our cake should cook, not cook, but bake at about 35 to 40 minutes. But just keep your eye on it. And then I'll come back and show you what our cake and our cupcake looks like. All right, guys, the sunlight is kind of bright in here, but our cake is baked, and I let it cool. Now I'm gonna place it here on, hope you guys can see this. Like I stated, I didn't bake 2 separate cakes, but I'm gonna turn this one into a second layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my serrated knife, and I'm going to just turn this around without moving my knife. And what I'm doing is basically marking the half point. Okay, when it came back around, it met back at the where I started. So now I'm going to bring it in a little deeper, and I'm going to go all the way around until my knife is able to come all the way through. And if you notice, I didn't do this. I was just turning this around, so that way I could have gotten an even cut. Okay, let me put this over here. And now, with my brush, because we don't want crumbs all over the place, so I'm just gonna brush off and just get some of these crumbs out of here. Because if there's too many crumbs present, it's gonna be kind of difficult to ice your cake. So what I'm going to do, I have some basic buttercream. I'm just going to use a buttercream filling. Just a basic buttercream. I'm going to put some in here like this and just kind of spread it around. I don't need that much filling. Okay. And since I'm going to coat it with the same buttercream, there's no reason for me to do anything else. Okay, just a thin layer. I'm just doing this video because I made a cake maybe 2 days ago. So I just wanted, since I've noticed a lot of people are asking for a cake, and this is why I decided to go ahead and make this one. So now I'm going to take our cake and I'm going to place it right back on here like this. Okay? And now I'm going to use my piping bag just to get, like I say, let's get all the crumbs we can off of here. And I'm just going to go around. Guys, my cake is delicious. But decorating is not my thing. I don't profess to be an expert at it, but I could do a little something. Nothing great, just a little something. Okay, and I do it like this just so it's easier for me to frost it. So then I'm just gonna come back around like that. And if you notice it, I'm covering it with a nice amount. And then I'm gonna come back on the top, and then I'm gonna put back this nice amount. It doesn't have to be straight. I was supposed to crumb coat it, but I'm just gonna skip that. And just get this everywhere on here. Every drop of this, I'm putting right back on here. Everything. Like that. And now I will use my offset spatula to see. I'm going to smooth it out like this. Just smooth it out a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, guys, because as I stated, I am not a cake decorator, but I can do a little something just to get it to look okay. Then I'm going to come around the same way. Okay, if there's any extra left, I'm just going to wipe it off into a cup or a bowl, whatever you have available. I'm going to take some of that off. Take some off like that. Guys, I am not perfect at this at all. I'm going to try to get it as smooth as possible. I'm just going to bring the top in like this. You have an idea, and I'm going to come back and show you the final. All right, guys. Just wanted to show you. It's not perfect, but this is the best I can do. Now, what I did was I add just a little bit of food coloring to my icing, and I'm going to go ahead and start to do a little decoration just to get the cake to look pretty. You can use any decoration you want, and this is the one I'm going to do. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way around, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, guys. I'm trying to get a little creative here. This is our final product. Our cake is looking delicious. I was trying to make some roses, but my frosting is apparently too soft, so there's not much I can do with it. All right, guys, just wanted to show you our cake is looking beautiful. And our cupcakes, just took a little frosting and kind of spread it on the top like here. But I just wanted to show you the cake, how nice and moist it is. Can you see that? Nice and moist. Okay, so until next time, please like, comment, and do not forget to subscribe.